And we're off.
My name is Eric Larson, and I am a polar adventurer and expedition guide. I get a lot of people that ask me why I do what I do. Why do I purposely go into dangerous, uncomfortable situations for months on end? And these expeditions are really powerful tools to connect people to these places. And I can use the story of what we're going through on a daily basis as a way to get people interested in what these places are like. Kind of making cold cool, I call it. You know, getting people interested in the last great frozen wildernesses on the planet. A lot of the time in the interior of Antarctica, it's just a big ice cap. And so you're just out in this big plain of white, and you're this small person in the biggest space you can possibly imagine. It's like being on Mars.
My name is Anthony Powell. My first time in Antarctica, I was offered a 12-month contract, but the idea of doing a full 12 months stuck there, isolated from the rest of the world with no way out, it just didn't appeal to me at all. The payoff is that it's incredible scenery, like nothing you've seen before. There's just something about the human experience. Even with the different languages, you can see that same common sort of thread and sense of humor regardless of people's backgrounds.
More than any other place in the world, it's a really home of international cooperation.
You're always hearing the news about the scientific research going on and what the scientists have discovered, but there's actually far more support personnel than there are actual scientists in Antarctica.
It's this bigger group, the people who make equipment, you know, the people who maintain that equipment. All those things are really critical pieces of our success, and if you take any one of those out, and we're done. I really believe that we're able to accomplish so much more as a group than we are as individuals.
Anything sort of short distance, you're typically using your feet to get around. The fuel is a very precious commodity, quite expensive to actually physically get the fuel there.
It's crazy, you know, if you look at all the vehicles, because it's not like a Sunday drive or a Sunday flight anywhere you go. We're all used to seeing our normal cars that drive on roads, and we've kind of made this infrastructure so that we can have this one type of vehicle, and you go anywhere in the world and you see the same type of vehicle. In Antarctica, you take away that infrastructure. There's no roads, you know, there's no salt trucks, you know, whatever it is. And so what you have is this kind of really unique evolution where the vehicle has to adapt to the environment versus us adapting the environment to the vehicle. And so you've got wide tires, tracks, plows, jacked up, sleds that follow behind. And I gotta say, it's probably one of the coolest things is to climb up in one of these things with these huge tires and just drive over the snow or drive over the ice. I mean, you feel like a badass. Turtle wax relates to all of my life in reality. I mean, I look at a lot of my personal life the same way I look at my expedition life. You can't really underestimate the value of any one thing. So something as simple as protecting your vehicle has a huge impact in Antarctica. And that's where this idea of like taking care of equipment is so important, and the reliability of gear and this routine and all these things that you do, because in reality, once you leave that spot, or even when you're in that spot, it's a potential life-threatening situation. And as soon as you go, you know, a mile away, it's an exponential curve to how much worse the situation can be very quickly. You know, people always ask me like what my path was to the Arctic. And in reality, for me, I think I kept kind of pushing up this idea of adventure and the unknown. And whenever you're trying to do things that maybe are out of the status quo, there's a million people that say you can't do it. If it's a dream that you have, and if it's something that you want to do, there's a way to do it. You know, Antarctica is one of those places. There's a way to get there.
You can get out there, just absolute total silence. It's a fascinating experience.